Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. With me today is artist Hai Zheng and Troy University student Brandon Claiborne, here to talk a little bit about an exhibit going on in the Hubao Zoo Gallery at the International Art Center. I want to thank both of you for joining me here today.
Thank you very much.
And first off, let's talk a little about your relationship with the university and how you're connected with the university and kind of what brought all of this all about. You've got a kind of a long history with the university that led to this point.
Yeah, life is all about the chance, the opportunity. And I have been in the United States for 21 years, and interestingly, 21 years ago, when I just landed in the United States on I think January 4th, Troy was the first place. Though I attended Troy for 6 months for business school and also art school briefly. I attended the architecture school back in China. Troy didn't have architecture program, so I transferred to a school in Miami to continue my architecture education. And then the 6 years after, I came back to Alabama, Troy in southern Alabama, to do my decade-long photographic project called the To Kill a Mockingbird. So I reconnected with school, yeah.
And of course, with that relationship, though, there was another connection. You came back to Troy there, but then a few years later, you brought a new connection through another artist that's featured in the International Art Center as well, Janet Nolan.
Oh, yeah, Janet Nolan. I got to know, I came to Troy, back to Troy in 2006, and one professor, Ed Hayden, you are in New York, and we have a fantastic native Alabama artist in New York. Do you want to connect with her? So I went back to New York and connected with her. She was very generous and very helpful to me. And we continued the relationship until she was passed away in 2019. But I think early 2019, and Dr. Hawkins and Mrs. Hawkins went to New York to visit her, and she reintroduced us again, so we got connected again.
And of course, through that connection, now you're working with Troy University students. I know there's kind of been a back and forth relationship between you and the students working on the project that's currently on display over in the IAC. So talk about that and working with the students and how that all came about.
That's the whole project. When it started, the components of teaching and interacting with the student was very vague. But everything was about like a relationship between my practice of photography, between and on my brief stay in Alabama, how that thing happened helped me to continue my project. So it's like from two geographically aparted place and connected together through art. I came to Alabama. Alabama is a particular place. People had a very tight relationship with the landscape. And I did a lot of projects later in China about like a rural place in China. So a lot of things I learned from my early experience in China. So later when this collaboration really started, I think this semester, and the department introduced me to Will, the professor here, and how can we do something with the student? We found that's interesting thing. If I was inspired by Troy living here for my project in China, why can we try to use my project or my experience of rural China to not inspire, I think, to make a student here to interested their environment, their vicinity of a context.
Oh, yeah, and then of course one of the students is Brandon, and so tell me a little bit about this. How did this relationship and having the opportunity to work and being inspired by his work guide you to where you are now and to be a part of this exhibit?
Okay, yeah, so we were basically just referencing his photos from his gallery, and basically every class we would have to come in with different photos, and that was basically kind of like his, but not you know what I'm saying, all the way copying his photos, but yeah,
being inspired by.
Yeah, inspired by. So yeah, Will kind of helped us. He just helped us a lot with, you know what I'm saying, just helping. He helped us a lot with capturing frames and how to anticipate a frame and just helped us all around with capturing the images.
And how's it feel to be able to have your work on display side by side with the work that was inspired by?
Yeah, that was it made me excited because I didn't know I could create an image that would look that good to be hung up in a gallery or stuff like that. So it made me feel happy.
This is a good opportunity, and of course, seeing the inspired work. When you see this, how does it make you feel that you were inspired by Troy, by inspired Troy students, and seeing this artwork on display?
I'm honored. I'm honored. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 'cause since it's about our work is about to be seen and to be interested in, so that's the perfect example and for my work to be seen.
To be able to be seen and then be seen in the same scope and have students connected with you, and just this, it's kind of like this little cycle of life kind of thing.
Of life. Yeah.
That you were inspired by Troy, you're inspired Troy students, and vice versa. And maybe they'll get inspiration. People that visit the gallery will get inspiration and do something of their own. So, well, I want to thank you both for joining me here today. And it sounds like an interesting exhibit. I cannot wait to check it out myself, to be able to see the work of both yourself and the students here at Troy. I want to thank both of you for joining us here today, and good luck with the exhibit.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.